Betty May Paige was born on April 22, 1923 in Nashville, Tennessee. She was an American model who gained a significant profile in the 1950s for her pinup photos. Often referred to as the queen of pinups, her jet black hair, blue eyes, and trademark fringe have influenced artists for generations. She was also one of the earliest Playmates of the Month for Playboy magazine. She was described as a remarkable lady, an iconic figure in pop culture who influenced sexuality, fashion, and someone who had a tremendous impact on society. She retired her modeling career in the late 1950s and died on December 11, 2008 at the age of 85 of what some say are natural causes, while other sources cite that she died of a heart attack. Her classic pinup allure has been turned into clothing, shoes, wigs, handbags, lingerie, and even a fitness DVD. Last year, this celebrity racked in a whopping $7 million. This well-known notorious boxer was born in 1942 in Louisville, Kentucky as Cassius Marcellus Gray Jr. He was well known as an activist, philanthropist, and was nicknamed the Greatest. He started his boxing career at the tender age of 12 and won a gold medal at the 1960 Summer Olympics in Rome. In the 1960s, he changed his name from Cassius Clay, which he called his slave name, to Muhammad Ali after converting to Islam. He was widely regarded as one of the most significant and celebrated sport figures of the 20th century and one of the greatest boxers of all time. He died on June 2, 2016, at the age of 74 from septic shock. A settlement with Fox Broadcasting over a Super Bowl ad that used Ali's image lands the greatest of all time on this list as he racked in $8 million. Born in 1998 in Plantation, Florida as Jansay Dwayne Ricardo Onfroy, XXXTENTACION was an American rapper, singer-songwriter, and a controversial figure within the hip-hop industry. The rapper has been regarded to have left behind a huge musical footprint due to his impact on his young fan base and his popularity during his short career. He began writing music after being released from a juvenile detention center and started his music career on SoundCloud, where he became a popular figure in the trap scene. He was fatally shot on June 18, 2018, at the age of 20. Though the rapper has domestic violence charges pending when he died, he racked up 4 billion streams this year, worth a whopping $11 million. Born on October 9, 1940 in Liverpool, Lennon was an English singer, songwriter, and peace activist who co-founded the Beatles, the most commercially successful band in the history of popular music. In 1961, he married multimedia artist Yoko Ono and moved from London to Manhattan in the early 70s due to his controversial political and peace activism activities. In 1975, he left the music business to raise his infant son Sean, but re-emerged in the 80s with the album Double Fantasy. He was shot and killed on December 8, 1980, when he was 40 years old in the archway of his Manhattan apartment building. Between his solo work and his Beatles over, Lennon continues to sell nearly 2 million albums annually, racking in $12 million. Prince Rogers Nelson was born and raised in Minneapolis, Minnesota on June 7, 1958. He was an American singer, songwriter, musician, record producer, and filmmaker. He was especially known for his electric work, flamboyant stage presence, his extravagant fashion sense, his use of makeup, and wide vocal range. Prince has sold over 100 million records worldwide, making him one of the best-selling music artists of all time, and was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2004. He died of a fentanyl overdose on April 21, 2016 at the age of 57. This year alone, Prince has sold over 250,000 physical albums, rocking in a whopping $13 million. Born June 1, 1926 in Los Angeles as Norma Jean Mortensen, Marilyn Monroe was an American actress, model, and singer. She was well known for playing comic blonde bombshell characters and quickly became one of the most popular sex symbols of the 1950s. She was a top-billed actress and even founded her own film production company in the late 1954. Despite this, her troubled private life received much attention, and she struggled with substance abuse, depression, and anxiety. She died on August 5, 1962, at the age of 36 from an overdose of barbiturates at her home in Los Angeles. Monroe is one of the highest paid dead celebrities of 2018, thanks to new licensing deals, including Montblanc pens. All of this at $14 million. Hugh Marston Hefner is an American businessman, magazine publisher, and notorious playboy who was born on April 9, 1926 in Chicago. In 1953, he took out a bank loan of $600 and raised $8,000 from 45 investors to launch the well-known Playboy magazine. The first issue, published the same year it was founded, featured Marilyn Monroe and sold over 50,000 copies. Though Hefner had a successful career, it did not go without controversy and criticism. A writer for The Independent once argued that Hefner had caused immeasurable damage by turning porn and therefore the buying and selling of women's bodies into a legitimate business. Hefner died of cardiac arrest on September 27, 2017, at the age of 91. He was survived by four heirs. He was survived by four heirs who sold the remaining portion of his estate for an estimated $35 million last year. This lands Hefner at the number 7 spot, making him $15 million. Not bad for a dead celebrity. Theodore Seuss Geisel was born on March 1904 in Springfield, Massachusetts. He was a world-renowned children's author, political cartoonist, poet, animator, and screenwriter. An artist best known for his work writing and illustrating more than 60 books under the pen name Dr. Seuss. His work has sold over 600 million copies and has been translated into more than 20 languages. Honestly, there is so much to say about Dr. Seuss and not enough time to summarize it in a video as short as this. So if you are interested in learning more, I invite you to read more about him. He died of oral cancer on September 24, 1991 at the age of 87 and made $16 million by selling 4.8 million books last year. Born as Robert Nestor Marley on February 6, 1945, Bob Marley became an international musical and cultural icon, blending mostly reggae, ska, and rocksteady in his compositions. He started in 1963 with the group The Wailers, which disbanded in 1974. Marley then moved to England to pursue a solo career in which he released the album Exodus in 1977. Exodus elevated Marley to worldwide status, and he became one of the world's best-selling artists of all time with more than 75 million records. Hit singles on this album include Jamming and One Love. The following year, he released the album Kaya, which included the hit single Is This Love? Is this love, is this love, is this love that I'm feeling? Till this day, Marley, who infused his music with a sense of spirituality, is credited with popularizing reggae music around the world and served as a symbol of Jamaican culture and identity. He died on May 11, 1981 at the age of 36 of melanoma, a type of skin cancer. However, he still manages to pull in $23 million through merchandise, including headphones, Marley natural cannabis, and smoking accessories. Charlie Monroe Schulz was born on November 26, 1922 in Minneapolis, Minnesota. He was a cartoonist most popularly known for the comic strip Peanuts, which featured the characters Charlie Brown and Snoopy, among others. At its height, Peanuts was published daily in 2,600 papers in 75 countries and in 21 languages. Over the nearly 50 years that the Peanuts was published, since 1952, Schulz drew nearly 18,000 strips. The strips, plus the merchandise and product endorsements, produced revenues of more than $1 billion a year, with Schulz earning an estimated $30 to $40 million annually. It was hypothesized that Schulz drew much of the Peanut stories from his own life. For example, like Charlie Brown, Schulz's father was a barber and his mother a housewife. He died on February 12 in 2000 of colon cancer at the age of 77. In 2017, DHX Media paid a whopping $345 million to get 80% of the Peanuts business, making this dead celebrity a whopping $34 million in 2018. Arnold Daniel Palmer, born September 10, 1929, was an American professional golfer who was generally regarded as one of the greatest and most charismatic players in the sport's history. Nicknamed the King, he was one of golf's most popular stars dating back to the 1950s due to his humble background, which helped change the perception of golf from an elite upper-class pastime to a more populous sport accessible to middle and working classes. Palmer had a diverse golf-related business, including his own club and lodge, which is a venue for the PGA Tours. He is also credited for designing more than 300 golf courses in 37 states, 25 countries, and 5 continents. Interestingly, Palmer also has a non-alcoholic beverage named after him, the Arnold Palmer drink, which is a combination of iced tea and lemonade. In 2018, an alcoholic version of the beverage was marketed and distributed by Molson Coors and is called Arnold Palmer Spiked. Though Palmer died on September 25, 2016, at the age of 87 from heart disease, he raked in $35 million from this beverage deal. Elvis Aaron Presley, born January 8, 1935, was an American singer and actor. Regarded as one of the most significant cultural icons of the 20th century, he is often referred to as the King. His music career began in Memphis, Tennessee in 1954, recording with producer Sam Phillips, who wanted to bring the sound of black music to a wider audience. Elvis was well known as the pioneer of rockabilly, an up-tempo, backbeat-driven fusion of country music and rhythm and blues. He released his first single, Heartbreak Hotel, in 1965, which became a #1 hit in the US. Overall, his energized interpretation of songs and sexually provocative performance style, combined with a potent mix of influences across color lines during a transformative era in race relations, made him enormously popular and controversial. Unfortunately, years of prescription drug abuse severely compromised his health, and he died of a heart attack in 1977 at his Graceland estate at the age of 42. He still moves more than 1 million albums every year, but the bulk of the King's coin comes from the tickets to Graceland and a new 45 million entertainment complex called Elvis Presley's Memphis. He racked in a whopping $40 million. Honestly, there is so much to say about the King of Pop, but I'm going to keep this one brief because it's so difficult to summarize this man's life in a few minutes. But here we go. Michael Joseph Jackson was born on August 29, 1958 in Gary, Indiana, and was the youngest of 8 children. His contribution to music, dance, and fashion, along with his publicized personal life, made him a global figure in popular culture for over 4 decades. He made his professional debut in 1964 along his brothers as a member of the Jackson 5 and began his solo career in 1971 while at Motown Records. He is the third best-selling music artist of all time, only behind the Beatles and Elvis Presley. He is the most awarded recording artist in the history of popular music, having been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame twice. His other achievements include the Guinness World Record, including being the most successful entertainer of all time. The list goes on. While preparing for his comeback concert series, This Is It, Jackson died of acute propofol and benzodiazepine intoxication on June 25, 2009 of a heart attack at the age of 50. His personal physician Conrad Murray was charged with involuntary manslaughter. The King of Pop recently made $287 million from the sale of his estate stake in EMI Music to Sony. Last year, he made, wait for it, $400 million. He tops Forbes' list as the top earning deceased celebrity for the 7th consecutive year in 2018.